Well, today I'm up on Game Creek and I'm going to skate ski today. But what I'd like to talk about in this video is the GoPro Hero 7 Black as far as the ski camera goes. There's a lot of things I like about the GoPro, but my biggest complaint has to do with how it works and operates in cold temperatures. Most of last year I was skiing with the Sony FDR X3000 action camera, and I really like that camera. And my biggest complaint between switching between the Sony and the GoPro is that the GoPro is just affected much more by cold weather than the Sony. And I've really had to change the way that I film. In the past with my Sony, I could just leave my camera attached to the outside of my pack. I could ski along even if the temperatures were cold and below zero. The camera was fully functional. Now, like all cameras with lithium-ion batteries, they're all affected by cold temperatures. In the case of the Sony, the time that you could record would be drastically reduced. It might go with a full charged battery, it might go down to 15 minutes before it would fail. But that problem was easily solvable, because if you hooked a external battery pack to it through a USB cable, as long as the battery pack was warm, the camera could be outside of your pack and it would continue to function just like there was no problems whatsoever. It's just beautiful back up in here. Now, when I replaced the Sony after it failed with the GoPro, I didn't really know what to expect, but I've seen millions of YouTube videos where people have been skiing and doing all kinds of snowmobiling, doing all kinds of winter activities with GoPros. And I figured, well, it's going to work great. It's certainly working good for them. But lo and behold, after I bought the GoPro and I started having problems in cold weather, I thought, wow, how in the world do these people shoot all these videos with GoPro and I'm just having so much trouble? It turns out everybody has problems with GoPro, and it seems like the only solution is to keep the camera and the battery warm up until you're just ready to use it. Pop it out and hook it up, and then the GoPro is ready to go for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And that's a workable solution. It's just different than what I've had to experience. I've tried the same solution with the GoPro as I did with the Sony. I've hooked an external battery to it, in fact the same external battery, and that doesn't seem to work. When the GoPro is cold, it's cold and it just fails to operate. The stabilization will quit working. It might turn on for maybe 10 or 15 seconds and turn off, and interestingly enough, the battery charge will show 100% state of charge. It just doesn't function well when it's cold. When I say cold, I mean less than 10 degrees Fahrenheit. The GoPro has been working better today than it has on some of my outings. I don't know exactly why. Maybe it's because I'm just using the wide view and not the super view. I think I'm going to turn the super view on and see if it starts giving me fits. Hello. Hello. Well, this is how the GoPro is mounted for today's ski. I have something new. I've put this foam cover over the GoPro, and I'm hoping that helps with the wind noise reduction. Interestingly enough, the GoPro has been working a lot better today than it has at this temperature prior to putting that foam cover on. So either it's a coincidence, or maybe that foam cover helps keep the heat into the GoPro. Doing the turn, there she goes. All right. Okay, I've had to switch over to an external battery. The GoPro started beeping at me, let me know the battery was low or cold. And in the past, this particular cell here, I've hooked with the USB camera to my Sony camera. And at this point, it makes the Sony functional. But unfortunately, that camera died. When I hook an external battery to the GoPro, it just seems to not want to operate. It'll continue to charge the battery, but once it gets into that cold state, it's almost like it just won't work anymore. GoPro, start recording. And my experience in the past has been is that it'll record for about 10 or 15 seconds and then it'll turn itself off. Or it'll start jittering. Do a pan around. Still recording. Well, it's behaving really well today. Much better than it has in the past. Now, I've reached out to a lot of people, and there's lots of suggestions. Everybody says if you're using the Super View, that doesn't work very well when it's really cold, so switch down to just a wide view. People say you know, you can turn off, you can reduce the resolution, all that seems to help. But to be honest with you, it's kind of frustrating to me. You can go out and you can turn your camera on and you can make a run, and then you get back and you look and you find out that the camera worked for like 10 or 15 seconds and then it turned itself off. Or it may have worked through the entire time frame, but then it starts stuttering or jittering or whatever because of some kind of processing problem with the camera. So I don't know, this is a work in process for me. This is the GoPro Hero 7 Black, and well, I like the output of the video. It's just awful troublesome, and I wish there was a better solution. I've actually thought about seeing if there's some way that I can incorporate one of these little heat packets, you know, those little hand warmers that are chemically activated, and maybe I can make kind of a cover over this GoPro and stick that around it and see if that helps. There's a new camera that's just been shown at the Consumer Electronics Show this year, and that's the Insta1R. And it looks to be about the same size as the GoPro. It's an action camera, and although I'm not familiar with it, according to the website, it can operate in temperatures down as low as -4 degrees Fahrenheit. So if it works as well as the GoPro and it doesn't have the same issues with cold temperatures, it just might make for a better ski camera. So I plan to investigate that camera a little more, and if it looks good, I might give that a try this season. So stay tuned. So if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Hope to see you out on the trail, and have a great ski season.